The Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, has called for stronger measures to enhance Nigeria's economic resilience amid growing disruption to global trade and critical supply chains, including those linked to the Strait of Hormuz. The president of CIBN, Dr. Dele Alabi, made the call while speaking with newsmen in Lagos ahead of the 19th annual Banking and Finance Conference scheduled to hold in Abuja. Alabi also urged banks and financial sectors professionals to embrace artificial intelligence, AI, and other emerging technologies while strengthening measures to mitigate cybersecurity threats and identity theft risk. He said the Institute's new strategic direction, known as the Impact Vision, focuses on inclusion, professionalism, accountability, skill development, and technology, automation, and innovation. Alabi noted that the initiative is designed to position the banking profession to effectively respond to emerging economic and technological challenges while promoting a more resilient financial system. The chairman of the conference consultative committee, Maruf Hosseini, said the theme of the conference, Building a Resilient Economy in an Era of Disruption, Strategic Imperatives for the Banking and Financial Services Industry, reflects the growing challenges confronting economies and financial institutions globally. Oseni, who was represented by the executive chairman, Southwest Segun Okpeke, said the conference would provide an opportunity for industry stakeholders to examine strategies for navigating the rapidly changing global economic environment.
That banks are now very capitalized. Capitalization provides a buffer for shocks. It sort of insulates banks' balance sheet, but it does not stop there. And I've been talking to my colleagues, and I'm happy that all the bank CEOs have bought into it. In the past, banks used to focus on the top-tier sectors of the economy. So banks used to put money, a lot of money, into Cibn securities like treasury bills and bonds. They would put money to the top-tier sector players, the MTNs, the Unilevers, the Shells, the Mobiles. But the landscape has totally changed. Again, I repeat, it is not correct to say the landscape is changing. The landscape has totally changed. Banks can no longer just focus on trade the money on Cibn securities or just lend it to the top sector. Why? Because the interest rate regime is going down. Yields are coming down on the government securities front. Also, for the top tier sector players, the tier 1 players, the margins are thin. They want to borrow at single digits. Therefore, smart bankers, smart bank CEOs have to think of a more ingenious way of utilizing this capital. Ladies and gentlemen, capital is not cheap. Capital is the most expensive source of funds. It's more expensive than debt. Equity capital is more expensive than debt capital. Therefore, bankers are prepared to utilize and deploy the recent huge capital that we have with a view to supporting the economy more. And what does that entail? It entails going down a little bit down the ladder to lend to the MSMEs, the micro, the small, and the medium-scale enterprises. That is what we are focusing on. And that is where smart bankers will play in order to survive, to continue to do well into the foreseeable future.
The overarching theme of the conference is building a resilient economy in an era of disruptions, strategic imperative for the banking and financial services industry. This theme aptly reflects the realities confronting economies and financial institutions today, from geopolitical uncertainties and technological disruptions to cyber threats, climate risks, evolving customer expectations, and changing regulatory landscape. Resilience has become the defining characteristics of successful financial systems.